Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is Dressed Up. All of the dresses you see here are located in Houston, Texas at Bellon Bridal. Let's get started. So there are a few things to consider when it's time to go shopping for your dress. Of course, one of the first things you're going to want to do is set a budget. By setting a budget, you're going to be able to determine what you can afford and what you can't afford. And really staying inside that budget is really important, because if you end up trying on some dresses that are really outside of your budget, you're going to end up, there will be one or two things that will happen. One, you're going to end up dreaming of that dress and not being able to find any dress that compares to it. And then two, you may go over budget by getting that dress that's totally out of your budget. Now, of course, you want to see where it, all aligns with your wedding budget. If that's the most important thing to you, then you get that dress, but you want to make sure that you're setting realistic expectations. Of course, doing research is very important, whether it's from, online social media or magazines. You want to see what dresses that you tend to gravitate toward. You want to see if there's particular styles. You'll definitely see a repetition in the dresses that you tend to like. And definitely, if you bring some of that research with you on the day of picking up your dress, you're going to be really, have something to start with. Whereas going into the bridal shop and being completely, blown away by all the different options, you'll at least have somewhere to start. And that way also you'll be able to see what particular styles you gravitate towards. Say you thought you always wanted, a big ball gown, but then you find that you're picking out really streamlined, A-line dresses. You may feel that you don't need to waste your time trying on those other ones. You already know what you want. Another thing that's important is to make sure that you obviously schedule ahead. You want to do at least 9 to 12 months before your wedding, because you want to give ample time for, of course, alterations and ordering, because of things right now. Things are taking a little bit longer to be getting in, fabrics and stuff. So you want to make sure you have enough time so that you're not having to scramble, getting your dress in time. You want this, after all, to be a very happy time and not stressful. Another thing to be mindful of is who you're going to bring with you on the day of your try-on session. Right now, it's a little bit more limited on the number of guests that you can bring, but you want to make sure whoever you do bring is very supportive, because you don't want to have people that are going to be, a bunch of people that are going to be kind of poo-pooing your idea. If you want a specific idea, you want to make sure you're getting what you really want for your wedding day. So you want to make sure you're bringing, if it's a bridesmaid, sisters, mom, it's going to be someone who's going to fully support you and what you want for your big day. Of course, another thing to consider when you're shopping for your dress is you want to make sure that you check out the salon that you want to go to. Make sure they have, whether if you have a particular brand that you like or designer, make sure that they have those dresses that you'd like. I think it's always a good idea to try on at least 4 dresses. You may find that the first dress that you try on is your absolute favorite. You love it. A lot of times people end up going with their first dress, but I think it's very important to try on a selection of dresses. They usually say about at least 7 dresses. That way they're 100% about what, the dress that you want. And I think it's also important to try on, several different styles, so that you really know that one that you love is 100% what you want and that you're going to feel the most comfortable in. Obviously, you want to take in account what time of the year, what season your wedding is going to be. You don't want to go for a super heavy, long sleeve, really weighted dress if you're going to be getting married in the heat of summer. And you don't want to be wearing something that's absolutely freezing. Of course, you can add in accessories, to highlight the season, but you still want to pay attention to also where the location. If, you're getting married on a beach, you don't want to be wearing something that's, going to be really hard to, get around in. You want to take also in account to, the style of your dress, how that translates with what you've got during the day. If you've got a long day, you can also do kind of like maybe a wardrobe change if you want to, and even incorporating one of those 2-for-1 dresses where you can have detachable skirts, so many elements. I mean, they have capes, they have so many things that you can, even if it does not come on your dress, you can actually have those things added on with the alterations. You can have sleeves added on, say you're getting married in like a, in a more of a conservative environment, you can have sleeves added onto your dress. There's so many things, like really the options are endless. And I think you don't want to feel like you're, restricted to one particular style. There's just so many things. I mean, even if you want to add in color, you can actually do that with an underlay or overlay on your dress. Of course, that can definitely bring up the price. So you want to make sure you're mindful of that, because even if you change that little detail, it can definitely add up dramatically. And then say it looks different than what you originally thought, because if you add a nude underlay, it's going to make all of that white beading really pop. So you definitely want to keep in mind all of those, little things are going to be really stand out. So if they can do like, a dress mock-up and draw it out for you, do some kind of visual, I really recommend that, because you don't, the last thing that you want is to get your dress and then realize, oh my gosh, this is not what I wanted, so you really want to make sure that you can have as much visual. A lot of times the designers will send you pictures, and I think that's important to try to get pictures during the process so that you can see how your dress is turning out. And then also, of course, making sure that you're taking tons of pictures the day that you're trying on dresses so that you have visual memories, because of course we tend to remember things a little different than they are. And then that way, if you're only able to bring a certain amount of family members or friends, you can show them. With that said, I think you should definitely also do a little bit of hair and makeup when you're going to try on dresses, because you want to look maybe not exactly as you do on your wedding day, but as close as possible, so that you feel that that's going to translate, that you look put together when you're trying on these dresses. So it can, it all goes hand in hand. And then of course, make sure you're wearing or bringing at least proper undergarments and shoes. You want to make sure you have those with you, because if you're, going to be wearing a totally different size of shoe than what they have, say, at the location, you want to make sure that you have somewhat of an idea so that you're most comfortable, and then you're able to really complement the things that you're wearing with your dress. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to look for dresses in each particular season. So first, we're going to talk about spring and summer. So obviously you're going to want to consider maybe a little bit more lightweight fabrics, because of course, if you're going to be getting married, say, outside, you're going to want something that's rather lightweight. Of course, if you're going to be doing like a tented wedding, there's different things to consider. So that's, you don't want to feel like it's off limits if it is a heavyweight fabric. Just depends on where your ceremony is going to be and your reception. Of course, anything that's light and airy is always really fun for summer, those breathable fabrics. Definitely, if you can, most dresses definitely come in natural fibers, which means if anything is a natural fiber, it's actually going to be a lot more cooling on the skin compared to a synthetic fiber. That's exactly why when we're looking for dresses, they are pricey, of course, but that's because most of the time they're using natural fibers that are going to be a lot more comfortable for you. So that's definitely, something to look at for the spring and summer in particular, especially if you live in an area that gets pretty warm. Definitely, if you're going to be doing anything with like tulle and any structured fabrics, definitely make sure it has some kind of you have some kind of like, either if you're going down the aisle, something that's not going to be pulling all of that stuff with you, because of course you will be having to pay a lot to have this dress clean. So just keep that in mind if you are doing like an outdoor ceremony. Doing something that's really like that netted fabric may not be the best idea for a summer wedding or even a beach wedding. And then another thing to kind of keep in mind is if you want to do something like, say you tend to perspire a lot, doing something with a lot of patterns, not quite so minimalistic, will definitely hide if you do perspire at all. It'll be able to kind of create kind of an illusion on the dress so no one will be able to see. So, and then for fall and winter, you definitely can have a little bit more fun with the sleeves. Of course, we've been seeing a lot of long sleeves lately. You can definitely add on a cape. A lot of dresses have been adding on a cape effect that can be detachable. That's always fun if you're doing, like, say, a winter wedding. This is a time that you can really incorporate really fun accessories. Say you want to do like a fur shrug or, bolero, anything fun like that, you can definitely incorporate with your accessories. But in terms of like a dress, I think you can really do anything depending on where your location is. Of course, if you're, say, getting married somewhere near Central Park in the middle of winter, you definitely want to have something with a little bit more weight. And kind of, like I said, take into effect even the way that natural fibers cool you down, they will also keep you warm in the cold. So it kind of has a dual benefit. So I think definitely no matter what you go, if you want to do silk, if you want to do cotton, anything, I would definitely look towards those natural fibers, of course. And then definitely adding in, some fun, maybe like a fun added skirt. You can even, some people will do multi-layered skirts. That's always fun for winter. And then say you want to do like a really fun headpiece, you can do that for, kind of play up the fall and winter fashion. I really think, with the seasons nowadays, you can put, velvet even in spring if you want. There are no rules in terms of that. But velvet, of course, is always fun in the fall and winter, but really it's all about kind of embracing what's most comfortable for you. So now we're gonna talk about some dresses. This first one is beautiful. It has kind of a nude underlay, so it really kind of creates kind of a little bit of a pop with all of the lace here. You can see how it really stands out. Now it has even this little like detailed belt around the waistline, which kind of adds a little bit of pop of color. So say you want to have a little color in your wedding dress, but you don't want to go totally bold, this adds a nice pop of color without being too dramatic. Of course, it's got some double layers of lace, which is beautiful. It has this top layer of lace, which is absolutely gorgeous, and then it has another layer here with like the sequins, so you can see it has a very updated look. Of course, this is a very light and airy fabric, so this is going to be perfect for spring and summer. It's going to be something you can wear, basically any type of weather. You're not going to feel weighed down because it's not the heaviest of layers. And then we're going to move on to this dress. Now this is a very structured heavyweight dress, so this is a good one for fall and winter. You can kind of see it has a beautiful picture. This has almost like a royal look to it. I mean, it's just like a stunning back there. It has the most beautiful like buttons on the back. And then one bonus on here is it has pockets. So, every bride, you can stash, your lipstick, your phone. Any, millennial, Gen Z bride is gonna wanna, or even, Generation X is gonna wanna be able to put carry some stuff with them. They don't have to give it to their wedding planner. They can have it right on hand. Honestly, the value of these pockets alone I'm telling you, it's priceless. And then it's very, the top part is very almost simple, but then when you really look at the bottom of it, it's just like, wow. This is kind of like your almost Kate Middleton moment. It is an absolutely stunning, entrance is what it would just make perfect for, like I said, fall and winter, because it is so heavy. This is probably not something, unless you're in a very air-conditioned environment, I probably wouldn't do it for spring and summer, but it's definitely completely up to you. So for the next dress, we're gonna be doing another long sleeve option. This one actually kind of creates almost a haltered neckline illusion. You can kind of see how it comes in right here, which is really flattering. It's going to elongate the shape of the body. This is really great if you've got kind of that rectangular shape. If you're more straight up and down, you've got that athletic build. This is a beautiful dress on that body type. And then it's got these sleeves that are just absolutely gorgeous. They just dance with the light. I'll kind of show you. It's got, just these lines are gonna also elongate the body because it's gonna have this vertical line, which is just gonna make your arms look tall, long, and slender. And then it's got this really nice little cutout on the sides, which is kind of fun and modern, but then the rest of the dress is just very sleek and sophisticated. So it's a beautiful dress for if something you want like a little bit of, weight with the long sleeves, but it's not gonna, really weigh you down. And it's also that a little bit fitted silhouette. So this next dress that we're looking at is kind of a little bit more of a bohemian style. So when you're picking out your dress, you definitely want to take into account what the style of the dress is. And the reason I say it's bohemian is because you can kind of see the appliques on here are very much of that, kind of that almost alternative bohemian print. It's kind of almost a crocheted look. And the silhouette usually in a bohemian dress is going to be very fitted. This one, of course, has the long sleeves. And then it has kind of a statement back. The whole entire dress is actually kind of has this beautiful beading, and it kind of makes more of the statement in the back, which is kind of fun. So if you're going down the aisle, you can have it be like beautiful, just like very sleek in the front. And then when everyone sees you from the back, it's just going to be like, wow. So especially when you're standing up there at the front for the ceremony, everyone will be able to see that. So, just depending on like for pictures, what you're kind of wanting, kind of have those things in mind. There's just so many different things to take into account. And this one has a really long train, like super long. So that would be really fun if you want to have that really bold entrance with like almost looks like a cathedral length veil. It definitely gives that impression. So as you can see, this one has a really, really stunning back. So that one is gonna have it has almost an open back there, and then the rest of it is all detailed. So really like the pictures of this one, when you get pictures of it, is gonna be absolutely stunning. So this one you can see doesn't have as much of that kind of that glitz and glamour. This one is a little bit more of a crocheted look. So this is a little different than the typical lace detail. This one is a little bit more, like I said, kind of a bohemian like the last time. Of course, it has some more classic designs down at the bottom, so it's kind of almost a hybrid. They did kind of these beautiful glitzy straps on the back, so that's about the only area that you're gonna see some glitz. So, some brides, you may want some sparkle, and then sometimes you just want it to be a little bit more understated. We've had that a lot more now that people are doing, more elopements and stuff. It's nice to be able to have more options for sure, and have something very simple but still very sleek, just like this. And you can see, like, as compared to like something like that, the lace is gonna give a totally different effect. So definitely keep that in mind when you're picking out your bridal gown. So this is quite a dress, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. We've got all of these ruffles down here. So this is awesome because it has kind of a mermaid effect. So say you want a little bit more fitted down to the hips, this is really gonna highlight the figure. And then we've got all of the ruffle down at the bottom. So this is great for a bride that maybe you don't know if you wanna do that ball gown or if you wanna do something more sleek. This is kind of like you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. And then I love that this one has kind of an off the shoulder detail, which you can even have these be detachable. So say you want to be able to do strapless later, you can definitely have this made so that you can have these sleeves come off, and then it can be a strapless dress for the reception. And I love this one because it's got all of the different pleating here. So this is going to really be flattering on any body type. It's going to kind of create an hourglass illusion. And then of course, with the beautiful buttons on the back, then it's just gonna look absolutely beautiful in pictures. So whether you're looking for something that's dramatic, maybe a little bit more simple, or even a little bit glitzy, you can come check out the styles here at Bella & Bridal in Houston, Texas, or you can search for something that really suits you at another place. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm Rachel, and thanks for watching Dressed Up. It was so fun, honestly. Like, I love shopping, I'm not gonna lie. And so, I mean, what's more fun than shopping for wedding gowns, right? Like, beautiful gowns. It's getting to play dress up. I mean, that's one of my favorite things. Like, if I'm doing, say I'm doing like full planning, like I want to be able to help with selecting that dress. Of course, bridal stylists at the salons are amazing at their job, but I love to be able to be a part of it, and because it's such an emotional buy, you know, like it's such a big decision and it's a lot of money. So I want to make sure, you know, I'm at least helping them, you know, decide what is really their dream dress.